At 85, I attended a reunion of men I had worked with in my 50s, 12 of us at that table. 4 had died, 3 were in assisted living, 2 had significant health limitations, 2 others were managing but noticeably diminished. And then there was me. I drove home and sat for a long time. I came back to one question: what had been different? I sat down that evening and wrote out what I had done differently across my adult life. Not better genes. Several of those men came from stronger health backgrounds than I did. Not luck. 7 specific things I had treated as rules, non-negotiables, while almost everyone around me treated them as good intentions. Good intentions bend under pressure. Rules do not. Here are the 7. They are not complicated. They are just not optional. The first rule: move every day without exception. Not every day you feel like it. Not most days. Every day. Weather, mood, a full schedule. None of these are exemptions. I have walked or gardened or done something physically active every single day for over 50 years. Some days for an hour. Some days for 20 minutes because that was all the day allowed. The threshold is low. The non-negotiability is absolute. The men at that table who declined most were the men who had made movement optional, who had decided at some point in their 60s that they had earned rest as a default. The body does not reward that decision. It records it. The second rule: sleep 8 hours. For 60 years, I slept 8 hours a night, or as close to it as circumstances allowed. In my professional years, the men who slept less were considered more serious. Sleep was treated as a weakness, something the driven traded away for productivity. I absorbed that pressure and slept anyway. I am 92, and several of those driven men are not. I am not a doctor, but I have watched what chronic short sleep does across decades. It is not productive. It is corrosive. It accumulates damage quietly and presents the bill in the 60s and 70s. Sleep the hours the body requires, not 6, 8. The third rule: eat less than you want to. Not a diet, not a system with rules about what to eat or when. One principle held for 60 years: eat consistently slightly less than appetite demands. Not dramatically less, a few bites less at each meal, on average, across a lifetime. The body's appetite is calibrated for more physically demanding lives than most of us lead. It is not a reliable guide to how much to eat. I have never been significantly overweight, not through deprivation, but through this one consistent practice. Stop slightly before full. Practice it until it is automatic. This is not complicated, it is just consistently ignored. The fourth rule: read something demanding every day. Not news. News exercises reaction, not comprehension. Something that requires building understanding across time. A book, a long essay, something with a sustained argument or narrative. Every day, even if only for 30 minutes. The capacity for sustained attention is, in my observation, the first cognitive capacity to degrade in people who stop exercising it. And it degrades quietly, over years, so gradually the person usually does not notice until the loss is substantial. Read something demanding every day. Treat it as maintenance, because that is what it is. The fifth rule: have at least one real conversation every day. Not pleasantries, not logistical exchanges with family members about what to have for dinner. A real conversation, one in which I am genuinely interested in what the other person thinks, in which I am required to follow reasoning I did not produce myself, in which something is actually being exchanged every day. This does not require a broad social life. It requires one genuine conversation. The mind that goes a day without real contact with another person's thinking has gone a day without one of its primary forms of exercise. The sixth rule: have a purpose larger than comfort. At every age, including 92, I have had something that required me to be present and functioning. Not for money, not for status, for the thing itself. A project being built, a relationship being tended, something that exists in the world partly because of my continued engagement with it. The men at that reunion who declined fastest were the ones who retired from purpose as well as from work. They finished the career and sat down, the body and mind given nothing that requires them begin very slowly to release their commitment to being fully available. Have something that requires you, not occasionally, always. The seventh rule: let things go quickly. Grievance, embarrassment, anger, resentment. I do not carry these past the day if I can help it. Not because I suppress them, I feel them. I do not deny them. But I have practiced for decades the deliberate choice to put them down before they become permanent passengers. I have watched chronic grievance age people, not metaphorically, literally. The body carries sustained emotional weight as a physiological load. The men who arrived at 80 carrying 30 years of accumulated resentment arrived diminished in ways that had little to do with diet or exercise. Practice letting go of small things first. The practice builds the capacity for the larger ones. I drove home from that reunion at 85 asking what had been different. These 7 things are the answer. None of them requires money. None requires exceptional genetics or unusual discipline. They require consistency across years, and the decision to treat them as rules rather than intentions. Move every day, sleep 8 hours, eat a little less than appetite asks, read something demanding, have one real conversation, have a purpose, let things go. I am 92 and I'm still here. These 7 things are why. They are not complicated, they are just not optional.